Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to day 14 of the 31 Days of Horror. D Bougie 86 here again, guys. Now, the film I got for you guys today is a film from 1992 from the land of Belgium. Yes, this one had a bit of controversy when it first was released onto the world, and it was a first time watch for me. Well, kinda. I kind of threw this film on before at the wrong time of the day. Once I got out of work, and as you know, I work overnight, and sometimes that's not the best time to watch foreign language films because you end up passing out or not paying attention because you're too tired. But, anyways, guys, the film I got for you guys today is 1992's Man Bites Dog, released by the Criterion Collection on DVD at the moment. Still, uh, yeah, I heard of this film beforehand. It's one that I always wanted to like sit down and watch and generalize my opinions on. And pretty much the main setup of Man Bites Dog is it's about this documentary group that's documenting the events and following a serial killer pretty much in Belgium at the time. And yeah, they interact with him, and as the film progresses, they get more involved in his ways per se as it progresses, and it gets a little bit crazy. Now, my thoughts on the film as a whole. Wow, fantastic piece of art. Uh, you could tell the three directors of this movie, who are actually all are in the movie. Actually, one of the directors plays our main killer, Ben, in the film. Uh, they do a terrific job because you don't know the aspect of them being actors slash. I always say this with foreign films. It's hard to tell bad acting when it's in a different language for me than my own. And these three, even though we don't really get to see one of them because he's like the cameraman pretty much, so he's always behind the camera. Uh, really delve into their parts and get right down and dirty into the nitty gritty of what the fuck's going on in this film. There are some mean spirited moments within it, but it's kind of odd because uh, they're just laughing off like the aspect of some of his killings, and it's brutal. Like there's a scene involving a child. That's all I give away. It's pretty aesthetic, and you can see like the reactions that they have with the kid that's involved. It's fucked up. There's also scenes later on in the film where something happens inside like this warehouse area, and the reaction with the crew is like, do we continue on, and they do, of course, and they get more invested and more deep and start to interplay with like what the killer is doing pretty much, because it's kind of fucked up, to be honest, that they go to these lengths to get like the footage that they need for their documentary. And like I said, the killer himself, he's very charismatic. When you hear the way he talks about the society of the era of that they're in, it's very down to earth, because I think some of the aspects of what he's talking about inside the film are very relevant to like even like the us U.S. today. This is like in Belgium, of course, and it's more relevant for Belgium during that time period. But there's some aspects of society in general that you could get a glimpse, and you could probably remake this film with a U.S. approach to it, with the aspect of it being about society and what things happen within it. It's a very bold move in the filmmaker's part, and I like that about that. Yeah, there's some like scenes at the end of this movie where I'm like, Oh God, like there's one scene in particular where they're inside this house and there's a woman involved. It's all a giveaway, and it's kind of like it starts out where you see like some of the shit that's going on, but then it just shows you the aftermath after, and you're like, what the fuck happened? Yeah, it's a film you have to really experience to believe, guys. This was a film that I was glad I sat down and watched and got every little bit of dialogue that the actors were saying in the film and the expressions and stuff. Uh, just a very powerful film in general. And, since this is kind of like before Blair Witch, it's kind of like more in like the mockumentary style of filmmaking, like say like a Lake Mongo, which spoiler alert, that's going to be tomorrow's review. Uh, yeah, is going to be like in the future where this is like a bold step into like the found footage slash mockumentary style found footage genre, and plus it's also like a opening to like the doors of what would later become the French extreme movement, where you had films from both France and Belgium competing, like Calvaire and Modders and all these other films that were coming out later on. You could see like the aspect of how those directors from that time period were influenced by something like this per se. And of course, later on, Gaspar Noé came into play. Uh, you know, fucking powerful film, and really, really relevant to today's standards of society in talking about society in general. Like I said, well shot, all shot in black and white. It runs at a straight pace, like there's a lot of dialogue heavy scenes within it, but they're needed for like the aspect of getting to know the killer and what makes him tick in the world, pretty much, which I do dig. Like there's this whole scene where he's talking about a pigeon, and it's just like the things that he notices and the things that he says. It makes the film more progressively better, in my opinion. Uh, if I had to rate it, it's getting a solid 9.5 out of 10 for me. Uh, like I said, this was the first time watching. It's a fucking fantastically made film with some great aspects of the characters involved. And, I don't know why I'm not going to give it a perfect score. It's just a first time watch. But, it was kind of a hard watch for me, too, with some of the mean spiritedness of some of the scenes. Uh, so yeah, very powerful film. And if you haven't seen it, check it out. Of course, I believe this edition from Criterion is still in print, so you can still grab it. I'm not sure about a Blu-ray for this, and I'm not sure what a Blu-ray of this would look like, to be honest. But it looks fine on DVD. The transfer is really great. So yeah, Man Bites Dog. Check it out. All right, guys, that's it for day 14. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, uh, look out for me for tomorrow where I review Lake Mongo, a film that I love, and I hope you guys dig how I feel about it. It's going to be a nostalgia review, so I'll see you then. Peace out.